The average American averages around 3,000 to 4,000 steps every single day, compared to our hunter-gatherer ancestors who did 16,000 to 17,000 steps. One of the easiest ways to improve not only your body, but also your brain is by increasing your step count and by walking. In this video, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share with you some of the hidden benefits to getting more steps in that you haven't heard before. And also, I'm going to share some simple strategies where you can increase your step count by at least 2,000 steps per day without even having to think about it. But first, let's talk about what some of the dangers are if you aren't getting enough steps in a day. So if you're getting less than 4,000 steps per day, this can lead to some things such as increased anxiety, increased depression, increased weight gain, chronic pain throughout the body, my back, decreased cognitive function, and also you will start to look like a croissant due to the fact that your posture is being affected. The worst part about all of this is the fact that not getting enough steps throughout the day can actually increase your risk for all-cause mortality. So how many steps a day should you be getting? Now, before getting into that, one thing I have to mention is that getting 10,000 steps per day is largely a myth.
Come on, don't bullshit me.
It was started as a slogan from a Japanese pedometer company that said, let's walk 10,000 steps a day. So if you don't have to get 10,000 steps a day, how many steps should we be getting? Now, a study was done by Harvard that looked at 16,000 women over the course of 4 years. And what they found was interesting. Women who averaged 4,400 steps a day saw a 41% decrease in all-cause mortality, and mortality rates progressively improved as a result of getting up to 7,500 steps per day. And this is one of the reasons why I tell my clients to get anywhere between 6,000 and 8,000 steps per day. And it's not just because of keeping you alive longer. There are also some hidden benefits to this. By the way, I'm trying to get to 100K subs. Can you help me? I think we have a chance of getting there by the end of the year, so please subscribe to this video. Now, hidden benefit number one is that walking is an underrated tool for fat loss. Personally, for me, especially if it comes down to having someone who's overweight choose between having to run or having to walk, I would get them to walk 10 times out of 10 because it just has less stress on the joints, it's more accessible, it's easier, and also it helps you lose weight. This reminds me of a story where one of my clients, his name is Bill, he's actually a friend of mine, we got him to drop 40 pounds off of his body using diet and walking. We changed what he was eating in his diet, and then we used walking as a way to improve his movement, or actually increase his movement throughout the day. And that's one of the low-key benefits of increasing your step count and getting more steps throughout the day. It's the fact that it can assist in helping you get lean.
I'm gonna walk out of here a lean, mean fighting machine.
Now, another hidden benefit of walking is the fact that it improves your cognitive function. It increases BDNF, which is fertilizer for the brain, which helps you create new neurons inside of the brain. And also, something I like to do personally is whenever I'm stumped on a problem or whenever I'm feeling stuck in terms of my creativity, I go for a quick walk without my phone and just like a notepad. And something about going for a walk, especially outside in nature, it improves your capacity to create things. This is in line with a lot of the great inventors and also intellectuals of the world. They have a habit of walking. People like Steve Jobs and Carl Jung, they made sure that they went out and got outside and took a walk, obviously without technology, in order to stimulate their brain, in order to come up with new ideas, in order to solve problems. So walking is one of the easiest ways and one of the most effective ways to improving your brain. Now, along with the brain benefits that you get from walking, one of the other hidden benefits that you get from increasing your step count is the decrease of stress and your ability to manage your emotions. Now, when you go for walks, especially in nature, where you're able to see trees, where you're able to see water, where you're able to breathe fresh air, all of this goes a long way to decreasing your cortisol levels. And this reminds me of a client. One of his biggest impediments to even following his diet was the fact that he was eating his stress a lot. Like during the day, he wouldn't have to necessarily eat. He could actually eat very healthy, but when it came to the nighttime, that's when all bets were off. And he would actually just scrounge around the pantry, around the fridge, and look for things that he could eat. Now, what he didn't realize is that he was accumulating all the stress throughout the day, and basically it just culminated throughout the night, which caused him to overeat. So one of the things that we implemented for him was a nice 15-minute walk outside without his phone, after he was done work in order to decompress himself, in order to decrease his stress, and this went a long way in helping him control his nighttime eating habits. Now, the other hidden benefit of walking is that it keeps your spine healthy. So walking provides nourishment for your spinal structures because it's an aerobic activity. It improves your body's circulation and it improves your body's ability to pump nutrients into your spine's soft tissue and also drain toxins. Walking is one of the key habits, especially if you deal with tightness in the body, especially if you deal with tightness in the lower back. One of the best ways to get rid of that tightness is to go out and to take a walk. Now, what are some ways that you can increase your step count without even necessarily having to think about it? Well, one of them is what I'm doing right now, which is walking on a treadmill desk. Now, this is going to require you to get a standing desk or maybe a treadmill desk where you can put your laptop in front of it. But one of the easiest ways to improve step count is to do it at a place where you're going to be sitting or being at for the next 6 to 8 hours, and that is at your desk. So a great thing that I do, especially with my workday, which is, you may think it's a lot of like going out, being active, but it is really relegated a lot to a desk, is anytime that I have a meeting, I will go and turn on the treadmill and I will do the treadmill as a walking meeting. Anytime that I'm going to be watching a video, I'm going to be doing the same thing. I'm going to be jumping on the treadmill and I'm going to be watching it. This is like what I call sneaky moves. And it doesn't have to be relegated to just having a treadmill desk. You can also do a stationary bike as well. And something really cool that one of my friends does is he loves to play video games. So he puts a stationary bike in front of his TV and he plays video games while doing the steps. And I can't think of a better way to marry both a fun activity like playing video games as well as a healthy activity like getting more steps in or doing a stationary bike. Now, another great way to get more steps in, I'll just put this away right here, is whenever you're doing a workout, walk in between your sets. And let's just say like you do a pair of bicep curls. Hope these aren't too heavy. So let's just say you're doing bicep curls right now. Okay, 1,001, 1,002, 1,003, 1,004, and then you're done. What you're gonna do is you're just gonna walk around and take your steps. And then while you're doing this, what you want to do is you want to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth in order to facilitate faster recovery between your sets. Both the aspect of walking and doing those breathing exercises is going to help you recover faster and be able to lift at your maximum capacity as opposed to just sitting down and doing nothing. Now, the last great way of getting more steps in is something that I mentioned before, which is to put a cardio machine or a walking treadmill or a stationary bike in front of a TV. And anytime that you're binge watching any shows that you have on Netflix, if you want to play a video game, although I would suggest if you're going to do that, you should get a stationary bike for that. But it's just one of the best ways in order to get healthier without having to think about it and doing something entertaining at the same time. I actually have another friend. His name is Justin Welsh, one of the world's foremost experts on being a solopreneur. And one of the things that he does is he loves to watch Ohio college football games. And what he does is he parks his treadmill in front of the TV so he doesn't feel necessarily guilty watching it. He watches the entire game while walking on the treadmill. It's just another way of getting moves and more steps into your life without thinking about it. Now, you may be wondering what the best times are to get your steps in. I'm going to say number one is going to be first thing in the morning, either done outside or turning on the treadmill desk or even turning on the treadmill. Walking in the morning is going to help loosen up your spine. It's going to improve your energy levels. And it's also going to be something that is going to bring some more mindfulness to your day, especially when you started off with physical activity. And the added bonus is that you get sun on your body, which turns on your circadian rhythm. Now, the other time is going to be after you have your meals. It's one of the best ways to improve digestion, to improve energy, to improve your blood sugar management and also cholesterol levels by simply walking immediately after having a meal. And when I say walking, it's just a simple brisk pace for about 5 to 15 to 30 minutes after you have a meal, and it becomes one of the best things that you do. And also an added bonus is if you do it with your family, then it becomes a family ritual where all of you can become closer as a result of doing it. And finally, one of the best things that you could do is just set a timer every 2 hours just to make sure that you're getting up and going for a walk or being somewhat active. You don't want to stay in your seat for way too long because that's where you start to invite some of the hidden dangers of sitting. So every 2 hours, set an alarm for yourself. Go out, even go out to like urinate, go out to pee, whatever it is, but just get up, go for a nice brisk walk, come back, and you're gonna feel so much more refreshed. Now, in addition to walking, if you wanna become the healthiest version of yourself and if you want to improve your ability to live longer and also to perform better, one of the best ways to do that is through sprinting. And I did a video specifically on the benefits of sprinting and how to incorporate it into your lifestyle. You can go right here to access that video. See you over there.